It might be the most powerful thing you ever read. If you haven't read it yet, I will share it with you here to wrap up the show on KCMO Talk Radio. Of course, yesterday, Jose Ibarra, a 26-year-old illegal immigrant from Venezuela, was sentenced to consecutive life sentences in the wake of Laken Riley's killing. The 22-year-old Augusta University nursing student who was murdered while she was jogging at the University of Georgia back in February. So yesterday in court, it was reported that Laken Riley's stepdad read her final journal entry in court yesterday. So she would journal, and she wrote this. She was killed on February 22nd of this year. This journal entry was written on December 17th of 2023. So right before last Christmas. She would have been 21 when she wrote this. And she wrote this journal entry to her future husband, her hypothetical future husband. She wasn't dating anybody. This wasn't intended for a boyfriend or anybody, as far as we know and according to the family. But she just wrote about her love for her future husband. So let's read this. Let's try to get through it together. All right. It is, and I just put it up on Instagram at Pete Mundo. It is in my stories. You can see it there. All right. Deep breath. Here we go. In 3, 2, and 1. To my future husband, I want you to know that I'm thinking about you. I'm working every day to become the best wife I can be. I'm working through my current relationships to best prepare me for ours and our kids one day. I'm focusing on God and what he defines as a faithful Christian life so that I can be the best embody of those characteristics. I pray that you know it is with my full faith and trust in God that I know this relationship has been handcrafted by him. I pray that we continue to glorify the Lord, prioritizing him in every aspect of our lives, and raise our family, our future family, to be God-fearing Christians as well. I pray God is at the center of our relationship, as it is a gift from him. I thank him for you before I even know you, and can't wait to love you in the best way I know how for the rest of our lives. I pray you know and feel the importance of my love and hopes for our relationship. No matter what challenges we face, I pray that our trust in God and love for one another overrules the obstacle. May our relationship last forever. Your future wife, Laken. That is the final journal entry that Laken Riley put out on December 17th of last year to a future husband that she never got to meet because this country failed her. I think we should all pray that her friends and family are comforted knowing that her joy is now complete. I hope that they have the peace, some peace and some closure that they need. But let's not forget, there's not going to be riots for Laken Riley. There's not going to be people in dopey costumes kneeling on her behalf like 4 summers ago with George Floyd. Not going to be murals of Laken Riley in major American cities. Not going to be statues of Laken Riley. There's not going to be a Laken Riley Day. But it doesn't mean she has to be forgotten. Because Laken Riley was failed by our government. Was failed by Joe Biden's administration. The open borders industrial complex failed Laken Riley. And as a result, she never got to meet that husband that she wrote about. That husband that she wanted to raise children with, and that husband that she wanted to love forever. Instead, it was sanctuary city policies combined with open borders policies that led her right into the hands of Jose Ibarra when going out for a run at the University of Georgia. And Jose Ibarra entered the country illegally, received taxpayer-funded flights. He got housing and protection from law enforcement upon arrival. The law enforcement that you and I fund by showing up to work every day, busting our butts, being away from our families, and trying to make a decent living with. That same tax dollar that you are paying to the government was used to help and protect Jose Ibarra and ship him all over the country wherever he wanted to go. And this is how he returned that thank you to the American people. And we know Laken Riley's not the only one. I mean, look at the news this morning. You have a couple of illegal immigrants who have been arrested for raping a child in the city of Boston. The same city where their mayor, Michelle Wu, has said that she will not comply with Donald Trump's mass deportations. Those are the people they're protecting. And why? I have no bleeping idea. I can't even fathom why you would want to protect individuals like this. Why you would even want or even think about protecting individuals like this. Because these people are monsters. Are the vast majority of people who are here illegally trying to make a better life? Yes. But we have failed the American people in how we've processed the border issues, the immigration issue for the last 4 years. And guess what? People broke the law. And while you have to start with the worst of the worst, you have to start with the criminals. Obviously, that's where this entire process has to begin when Donald Trump gets in there in January. I do hope in part that the memory of Laken Riley remains top of mind for people like Tom Homan, our new border czar, for people like Kristi Noem, who's going to be obviously involved in this as well. Donald Trump, of course, J.D. Vance. I hope that her memory and her story and her life, which was taken far too soon before she could meet that future husband that she talks about in this final journal entry from last December. Her memory needs to live on. And we don't need all the, virtue signaling nonsense that the other side likes to use. We just need good policy that will help prevent the next family from losing their own 22-year-old daughter who went out for a run on a prominent college campus. And if we can do that, we will be making progress and making steps in the right direction. On the text line, 913-408-7957 is how you join us here on KCMO Talk Radio. Pete, you're so right. Unbelievable letter. Where can I find it? I just put it up on my Instagram story. So you can see it there if you want to. You can share it there. It is up on my Instagram story at Pete Mundo.
Goes well with Harrison Butker's address at the, I was going to say Benedictine. It was a Benedictine, right? Mm-hmm. At the Benedictine graduation.
Yeah.
She is what he was talking about.
Exactly right. That's in large part the message. And she, unfortunately, will never get to live out that journal entry. And that is the saddest part of the whole story. So we got through it. Please remember that story. Share it as well if you want to share it. And we'll also put it up on some other social media channels. But right now you can see it on my Instagram at Pete Mundo.